Hello everybody and welcome to Creativity Time. My name is Tatiana and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. When it stays 10 a.m, just like now, I go live for my time, which I call Creativity Time, and I hope to inspire people to spend some time being creative and then to fill themselves, I guess, with the creativity and then send that creativity to someone. Behind me are many samples of my work, and I primarily am a paper crafter. Hello Tanya, and I make cards to send to people or to have on display. Today I have my little miss assisting me, and she has picked the stamp set. So enough chit chatter, let's head to the craft desk and check it out. Oh, brilliant. Hold on, I've just realized I didn't bring it up on the iPad, which makes it really hard to see comments since the phone is above me, way above me. Am I live? Well, I must be live. You're watching. There we go. Oh, yay! I'm glad you're on, Kathy. Perfect. Awesome. So just message me the address and full name. Brilliant. This is a stamp set that Little Miss has chosen. It's Leave a Little Sparkle, and it doesn't surprise me that she chose this one. We love unicorns. And unfortunately this stamp set is retiring, so you've only got until 2nd of June to order this one if you would like it. Color palette I thought would be fun. Coastal Cabana, Highland Heather, and Lovely Lipstick. And I have two pieces of Fluid 100, it's our watercolor paper. And we're going to create a background first. My silicone mat, and we're going to use the ink smoosh technique because...
What's this for?
This is for, oh, my ink pad is, that's why I couldn't get any color out of it.
Wow.
Because it's dry. I use it too much. Okay, spritzer, and of course it's low on water. I'll be back.
What's a spritzer?
We'll see. Yes, that's a spritzer. You've got all day, Tanya. Okay, we're gonna wet that, and this is how I prefer. So you can use your fingers as well to add colour. So I'm going to have the Coastal Cabana as my main colour.
Main color? Okay.
Okay. Hey, little man. Yes. No. No, you can play Mario Kart later today. Okay, yes, you can watch TV. I'm liking this background already way better.
What can I use next?
And I am going to just give it a... Hello back! I didn't realise you were gone. Excuse me. Yes, I check. Okay, I'll call you back when the unicorn happens. Okay, so I'm way more happier with that. And what we can do is, to get some extra tonal variation, is pick up some more of that ink that's there. And so you build up the colour as well. So much better. This is so much more me. I got what you meant. Now, because I want to add the other colours, it is important for the first colour to be fairly dry. There we go. Love it. And so that's one way of doing the ink smoosh technique, is that you take the paper to the ink. The other method gives you a little bit more control over where the ink lands. So we'll start with Highland Heather. Start the same way, take the craft mat, put the ink down and spritz it to get it wet. And then I have some acetate. This is from some stickers from the kids that have been used up, and I've kept it. And you kind of pick up the ink on the acetate, and then you can smoosh it down onto your, as you can see, I can see through it, and it gives me a bit more control as to where. I would suggest putting something down on your table, because my white table has now got slats of everything on it, but you get the picture. And then I had more control over where that goes. And again, I'm just going to give it a dry. Thanks, Tanya. And I'm going to add a little bit of lovely lipstick to the other side. And I'm just going to give this all a wipe down. Handy chamois. And wipe down the acetate. So you could use the window sheet, but that's a lot thicker compared to this. This is a lot thinner, and it will give it gives you more control. Some lovely lipstick. Spritzer. As you can see, it spritz everywhere. And we can lob down some lovely lipstick. There, that's plenty. I need to clean up. I can't leave my desk the way it is. I really should have put down some grid paper. It's my bad. Move that out of the way. Oh, just making more of a mess today, aren't I? Gosh, it will come off, or I'll have a pink desk. One or the other. Whoops. This is what you should not do. This is an episode of what not to do. Yeah, goody. I so did not do that. Kind of covered it. You really don't want to watch me clean. Just drying this up a bit. So when you use the heat tool to dry, can you see there? You can see the edges of that splat, and that's kind of really cool. So, and you can see some of those there. To normally get that, you would need to layer. So we'll put that to the side, and I'm going to grab my Stamparatus because I'll explain why. We're going to stamp the unicorn, and we're going to stamp it on some Fluid 100 paper, the watercolor paper, and the paper is textured, as you can see. And because of the texturing, one single stamping will not necessarily give us a clean stamped image. And for that reason, I'm using the Stamparatus, and that way we can restamp over the top to get that crisper stamped image. No, I don't need scissors yet. I need Stays On ink. Because I'm going to watercolor this, I will use Stays On ink. It is a smelly ink, but it will allow us to watercolor and the ink will not bleed, which is kind of what you don't want to happen. No. Sorry, Tanya. I'm pretending that didn't happen. Even though that was a fairly crisp, clean stamping, I'm just going to re-ink it again. And press in that way. Perfect. I'm really happy. The only thing it stays on is because it's a permanent ink, it stays on. That's the name. You need the Stays On ink cleaner. So you just rub that over your stamp, and I recommend doing it pretty quickly. And then one of my chamois, you probably have noticed, is blacker, and that's because I've used it with the Stays On. And wipe that clean. I will give it a clean, proper clean with the Stampin' Scrub as well, because the scrub will get into all those nooks and crannies. Sweetheart, do you want to come and see how to paint the unicorn? And now we're going to paint our unicorn. Sounds like she's not particularly interested, which is okay. Taking my aqua painter, and I've taken the smaller nib, and what I'm going to do is go all over our unicorn and just dampen her. And what's really cool is that Stampin' Up! Has kind of provided some shading areas. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add, kind of give this unicorn a hint of colour. So as you can see, I picked a shading spot. Good morning, Susan. And I am spreading that ink fairly far. Now, this hind leg would be darker in the sense that it's behind. So I am trying to be somewhat accurate, but it doesn't have to be full-on accurate. It is watercolor, so it depends on what kind of look you're going for. I'm just trying to give it a subtle color. So super light, subtle look. And if it's too dark for you, all you do is go over it with some more water. That kind of lifts and spreads the color. I'm just going to add some here into the shading areas and spread that out. Fabulous. And then Going to use the other two colours. So that was Highland Heather and Lovely Lipstick. There we go. On the hair and hoofs. Purple hoofs. Hoofs. I don't know. And want the horn to be purple. And then kind of varying colours on the hair. So I'm just picking spots randomly. And this bit, very free-flowing sort of thing. Now with some lovely lipstick. For the top as well. And there we go. That was really simple and easy. Close up my ink pads. And we're going to put that to the side, just there to dry. And we're going to trim down our background. Firstly, we're going to trim it. Do I want it full-sized? Or do I want it... I'm thinking. So I'm going to trim one side. And I'm going to go with a full-sized card front. So that means trimming it down to 10.5 centimeters. Now, don't throw these strips away. They look really nice on the inside of cards. Going to trim that edge first. And then 14.8. There we go. And I think I have, yes, I have a card base all ready to go. This is Whisper White Thick, and it's top folding landscape card. And that has been cut to sit exactly. Do you know what? I like the border look, so I'm going to trim off 5 millimeters, half a centimeter. No, yes, that's how much I would normally like to do. And another 5 on that side. And now that's going to stick down as so. I'm going to glue that down. This is thicker paper, so it does require just a tad more glue than I normally would use, just so that it adheres well. And because the watercolor paper has warped a bit from the heating process, what I do is just grab the big F block and I place it on top for a bit of weight is the word. Now I've trimmed that unicorn off the piece of watercolor paper, and now I'm going to fussy cut her out while we just let the card front stick down. How's everyone going? Hope you're well. Sorry, I'm concentrating on this one because it's not simple fussy cutting, not like Monday nights. But I'm not too off now. Around the hair. The mane. It's the mane, right? Sorry. I don't really know horses. My parents are scared of them, and so I didn't go horse riding when I had an opportunity. Don't ask me why. They went around. They didn't say I couldn't. But I didn't because I knew they probably would have said. I don't know. It's funny. So my mum grew up around horses. There we go. So that is done. And like I said, don't throw out the strips because it looks good on the inside. So I'm just going to add that long thin strip to the bottom of the inside. And I wanted to add some decoration. I'm going to grab Bermuda bag. So it's kind of nice to have a darker version of Coastal Cabana. Not on my thumb. 2-stamp is where I was going with. Where's the stamp set? And we're going to add some of the little stars to the background. Being the darker colour, it will stand out that tad bit more. And what I might just do is almost like a My Little Pony cutie mark, as they call them. Guess what shows my daughter likes to watch? Give that a clean. And to me, this beautiful unicorn gets very lost in the background because of the colouring. And I have a great trick to share with you on how you can reduce that. And it's really super duper simple. It is using some vellum. So as soon as I mount that behind, you can see the unicorn now stands out a lot more, and the background is still there. We can still see it. And so let's trim the vellum down first. I'll trim it down to the same size initially, and then I want to do a bit of a border. So that's the initial same size there. And I cut 1 centimetre off. That'll give us another nice border. So we often forget about vellum, and it's a really good it's a really good material to use to enhance some bits. And what I want to do is leave a little sparkle. Leave a little sparkle wherever you go. going to stamp that in Bermuda Bay. Could also heat emboss it. You've got to be very careful when stamping on vellum, because it could easily slide and slop, and that's not quite straight, but we're going to leave that. Thank you, Kathy. Little tip from me to you. And what I'm going to do is heat set that. Because if I touch that accidentally now, it will smudge. So ink does take a little bit longer to dry on the vellum. Hey Vicky, how's it going? How are you?
Mama,
Yes, sweetheart, look.
the unicorn here.
The unicorn's here.
Oh,
Now, vellum does show adhesive when you put on it. So the trick is to hide the adhesive. So our unicorn
adhesive.
glue, adhesive is glue. So if I line that up as to where it would be going, I'm not too bad, thanks Vicky. So I can see that my unicorn is going to sit right across here. So I'm going to add the glue to that section right there. I did put stars, look. Can you see the stars? Mm-hmm. Little Miss specifically. There is no love hearts.
Oh, yeah.
Look, there's only stars. But what we'll do is we'll put some more stars on the vellum, hey? Look, I put stars on the unicorn like a cutie mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to use,
Paka, Mama.
oh, paka paka. As you can see, I used a pre-printed back. So don't waste your cardstock. Even if you don't like what's on the back of it, there's two sides. I'm using quite a few dimensionals, and I like to use a few little ones as well. Just to make sure it's all sitting nicely. One more. I know, I'm dimension crazy. You didn't realize, Sonia, hello. Firstly, hello Sonia. Secondly, you didn't know you could stamp on vellum. Yes, you can. You absolutely can stamp on vellum. The only thing is it doesn't dry as quickly as it does on regular cardstock. So just be careful, it can smudge. Best to kind of let it air dry. I leave mine for an hour sometimes even, just because I'd rather make sure it's super dry than not. So there we go. There's our unicorn, and what we'll do is to make a few more, we'll add a few more stars onto the vellum just to make them stand out that little bit more. Now if you don't like the vellum sticking up right there, what you can do is grab a glue dot with your pointy end of the take your pick tool. So firstly you try to fold the glue dot a little bit so that it's not as big, and then kind of place it behind one of the letters to hide it, and it kind of stretches a bit when I try pulling it off, and then carefully there. So you can ever so slightly see that I've got a glue dot right behind that L, but it's sitting right behind the L, and it does give it that little bit more stability, but I kind of do like the wispiness. So don't forget, please nominate someone who you would like to receive this card. I've created a beautiful mess today. Thank you so much for spending time. Now, envelope. That's the one thing we haven't done. I wanted to just stamp the unicorn on the back of the envelope. Before we go, quickly, I'll bring it back in. I've got a good mess here. I'll have some fun tidying up. Won't I? Okay, thank you for your nomination, Tanya. Yep, so I'm going to just plop that, and let's stamp in Bermuda Bay, partly because it's closest to me. Oh, almost got it on my... Almost got my glue dots onto my ink. Into my ink? Into my ink. That would not be good. And there we go. Simple. Too simple. Ah, love it, Kathy. Unicorns all over the house. You'll need to make this for her, won't you? Well, I'm sure you've already got a unicorn card all ready for her. So there we have it. Leave a Little Sparkle stamp set. I did think Little Miss was assisting me more than she did, but that's okay. She didn't eat my chocolate eggs, so that's okay. Wow, I've got more people joining in, but you have caught the end. You can watch the replay to see how I made this very colourful card. I thank you for spending time. You don't have that stamp set though. Oh, bummer. That's no good, Kathy. Quick, grab it before it goes. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope I've inspired you to spend some time being creative. And don't forget to add your nomination. I'll keep them open until my next live, which, if I get my pre-order, will be when I go with my pre-order, but we shall see. Take care and thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.